What separates an object from a sculpture? What do these artistic creations tell us about our own sense of self, and how do they tell our life stories? These are the concepts I'm interested to explore in this video. My name is Troyland, and on the 28th of June this year, I made an object which I thought represented the Filipino experience, specifically resilience and community. This is the Labod. Roughly 2 feet in height and made from mango wood, I intended for this object to act both as a house ornament and a plant stand. Now you may ask, what's the difference between an object and a sculpture? Well, much has been said regarding the matter, but from what I could gather, an object is small in scale, with those that are monistic or structurally undivided, set up internal relations through juxtapositions of materials or sometimes by high reflectiveness incorporating part of the surroundings. Meanwhile, a sculpture does not present obvious information, content, or singularity of focus. Its focus is not singularly inward and exclusively of the context of its spatial setting. In a nutshell, what distinguishes an object from a sculpture is the way they tell a story. An object is small and it references itself to tell a story. For instance, the way it was made, how it was made, the materials used to make the object. In contrast, a sculpture uses its volume to change the way space is perceived to tell a story. For instance, a sculpture in a circle changes the way space and circulation functions. Since my project is of a smaller scale and it relies upon its materiality, i.e. the mango wood, and the etchings on its surface to tell its story, then we could say for certain that the Labod is 100% an object and not a sculpture. Well, now that we've cleared things up and know that the Labod is in fact an object and not a sculpture, we can go back to the premise of the video and explore how do objects such as these relate to ourselves, our experiences, and how do they tell our life story. Well, in an article published by the Chicago Journal, author Bill Brown writes about object culture, which he describes as a way to, quote, designate the objects through which a culture constitutes itself, which is to say too, culture as it is objectified in material forms, unquote. In other words, what Bill Brown was trying to say is that an object is a physical manifestation of your identity, a conglomerate of all of your past and lived experiences expressed in physical forms. And in the case of the Labod, I wanted to do the exact same thing. I wanted to tell the story of resilience and community told from a Filipino perspective. By all accounts, this project is a very personal telling of my own lived experiences. In order for me to tell you that, we first have to go back in time to tell the story of resiliency. Back in 2005, my uncle decided to plant a mango seed in our backyard. Through the years, we have watched it grow from a sapling and into a beautiful young tree. However, in 2021, 8 days before Christmas, Super Typhoon Rai, locally known as Bagyong Odette, made landfall in Cebu, leaving a considerable amount of damage across its path. For the residents, it seemed as though the world came to a full stop, but for the rest of us, life goes on as we head towards a new year. As an immigrant, nothing hurts more than watching your loved ones get affected by catastrophe. That's why on May 5th of this year, I went home to Cebu along with my parents for the first time in 7 years. Although months have passed since the typhoon, pieces of debris are still present and acts as a constant reminder for its destruction. But not everything was destroyed. The mango tree remains. Although its leaves have fallen off, trunk broken in half, branches cut into pieces, the tree continues to bear fruit. As such, the tree is a symbol for resiliency. It has taught me how to hope. Just like the broken trunk of the mango tree, spirits can be broken, livelihoods destroyed, but people will always find a reason to smile, and they will always find strength in their communities. And that is the reason why I chose the mango wood as my main material. It is a symbol of resilience. Lastly, I wanted to talk about the Labod imagery itself, which is a Cebuano term for millipede. Originally, I wanted the design to be a centipede motif due to its cultural implications. According to Lane Wilkin, writer of the Filipino tattoos, the centipede motif is integral to the Filipino culture because it was, quote, likely that the centipede represents the war party in this context because men almost never went on headhunting expeditions alone, traveling to an enemy village single file through the forest to disguise their numbers. He also adds that the centipede design may also have evolved from a canoe concept. A canoe with several people paddling in unison on each side resembles a centipede traveling over the ground, unquote. Hence, the idea of multiple legs working as a whole is what attracted me to the centipede imagery. It is crucial to our Filipino identity, which revolves around community and family. Hold on, wait. If centipedes hold a lot of cultural value, then why did I change my design to a millipede? Simply put, centipedes have poisonous stingers. In addition, it has connotations connecting to war and death, as explained by Wilkin. For these reasons, I thought it contradicted the point of my story, which is hope. Unlike the centipede, a millipede does not have a stinger nor does it have venom. All it has are its legs, its segmented body, and the head. The head decides where to take the rest of the body, while the legs marches forward ever so trustingly as the head leads it to a future of uncertainty. See, life presents to us a very similar situation, uncertainty for the future. Who knows what the future has in store for us? A small typhoon over here, maybe even a small car accident. Who knows? The point is, we're all just a bunch of legs marching towards an uncertain future, which is why it's very, very, very important to have hope against all odds, resilience in times of despair, and community that we can rely on. And that's what the Labod is all about. Thank you for your time. Peace.